Today more than ever, we get to put to test performance training myths or theories. And today I'm going to put to the test a theory called post-activation potentiation. Sounds crazy, but it's really pretty simple, at least as I understand it. And basically what it is, you're going to take two exercises, you're going to pair them together, you're going to have them done one right after the other, and in theory, as long as these exercises complement each other enough and relate to each other enough, each exercise is going to increase the performance of one another. And what that means is it's going to help the lifter increase their ability to move the weight in a weightlifting setting with more power, with more speed, with more explosiveness. So we're going to put that to the test. I'm going to do it on the XPT, and we have some data that's going to help drive to see if this theory makes sense, if there's something to it. So stay with me. I'm going to show you how it's done right now.
To the left, McNabb retreats. Look, he's hit from behind and step. Oh, what a play, Brady Batunga.
The day of my training session, I implemented a scheme, a rep and set scheme called post-activation potentiation. And this is something I've seen all over social media, and I thought it was very fascinating. And I appreciate those who shared and posted their ideas for this post-activation potentiation movements and pairings, because it gave me an idea to do it with the XPT and then to track everything and compare it to when I just did these same movements that I'm pairing by themselves, and to see the difference in performance, which I'm using this data over here as a log and also comparison. So just so you know, I gathered all this data from a bar tracking sensor called the VMAX Pro. You can find more about it at simplyfaster.com, or you can just Google VMAX Pro bar tracking system. Gives this nice layout, even gives a video overlay with your speed and velocity curve. Now, we're not going to see things move in action just because we're going to be focused more on the data over here. So, what I did is I paired two movements together, okay? One movement is explosive XPT front squat, where I let the bar go. And the other movement is a traditional front squat. Here is the data on those 4 reps. I did 2 of each movement, one right after the other, and you can see how I went from 185 to 275, back down to 185, and then I finished with 275. And then you can see the watt output with each one, okay? Now, what I want to draw your attention to is the watt output, especially of these last 2, because the potentiation's already kind of taken effect from these 2 reps. Kind of like you can look at it as like it's built momentum. So let's take a look at these 2 reps in comparison, what's been done before, okay? We'll start here with 185, and this is done about 2 weeks ago, okay? I was able to produce, with 185 pounds, 1,984 watts, which far exceeds this range. It also exceeds the set I did before. I did this one on the same day, and then if we go down here to the very bottom, it even exceeds that one. So, bingo, potentiation did take effect by adding in not only an XPT jump squat or a release, but also a traditional movement that led to that increase in performance. And now let's take a look at when I went with the traditional movement, very last rep with 275. Was able to produce 1,425 watts. Let's go to our one where I did a few weeks back. Again, far exceeding that performance. Let's go down here again. Same thing. So, the conclusion I'm drawing, again, this isn't scientific. This is just data that I've gathered. But it's fascinating to see that when you pair two movements together, there is a potentiation effect. When you use the XPT in a ballistic, explosive manner with a load, a decent load, pairing that with a movement of even greater load that's considered more traditional.